Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It was our first day of training camp practice. How the heck is everybody doing? I'm sure you guys have seen all the updates. You've seen other people talking this and that. And you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about day one of training camp. It was a fun time, a lot of good vibes, just fun to be back out there. The football atmosphere, everything's kind of getting back in place, and it's exciting. And, there was some good news, some bad news. I mean, it's the first day. There can't be too much bad news, but there was. And there's some pretty good news, for being back out there. I know there's been some injuries and this and that. So we're going to talk about it. Let's get right to the big news of the day. After practice, Kyle Shanahan met with the media, and he stated that Jacob Cowing pulled a hamstring on individual drills. Now, that was kind of something that we noticed. We're watching team drills. You didn't see Cowing out there, so you're like, okay, what's going on? And it appears that he pulled his hamstring. So they don't know the severity of it, but that's horrible because he had a big opportunity, right? Pearsall, he was on the side field doing his rehab work, supposed to be coming back Sunday after, being placed in the PUP. But Jacob Cowing now is down with the hamstring injury. And this wide receiver group is falling like flies. We know Brandon Ayuk, he's got the torn ACL, MCL that he's been recovering from. Jennings wants his contract. We're going to talk about Jennings. And now, Jacob Cowing with Pearsall dealing with the hamstring. Now Jacob Cowing is. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. Hopefully it's not too severe, but hamstring injuries can be tricky. Pearsall was out for an extended period of time, right? And he had to open up on the PUP. These hamstring injuries can be pretty nasty. So it's something to keep an eye on, but it is unfortunate because Jacob Cowing, we were expecting him to really come in and have a bigger role, at least. I don't know if a huge impact, but a bigger role. We know Demarcus Robinson might be missing some games early in the season. So we need all hands on deck. And wide receiver group is pretty thin right now. It's a very young wide receiver group. I know yesterday they signed St. Brown's brother, Equanimeous St. Brown. I can't even pronounce the name, but I mean, I thought he's more of a camp body. But if he shows out, maybe he makes the roster with these crazy injuries. So that was really, really unfortunate news. The fact that, Jacob Cowing, right? Second year, you're hoping he has a big role with the team. And then boom, that happened. So very, very, very unfortunate news. And that was, again, the biggest news of the day. We'll, like I said, keep an eye on that for updates. But that was frustrating because we were excited, right? Everything was hyped up today. And then, boom, all of a sudden that news drops. It's like, oh, there it goes. Inflates the wind out of your sails. And, I feel like every year we were excited, and then we get these weird injuries. It's like, are they stretching enough? And remember I said it. I said, I feel like they just don't stretch enough. I feel like they were stretching enough today. And then here comes the soft tissue injury to Jacob Cowing. And I don't know, man. I hope, again, it's nothing too crazy. But, I mean, I don't like to make jokes, but there's a post floating around that Yahoo Sports posted yesterday, and it says a list of all currently healthy 49ers wide receivers who aren't facing suspension or contract disputes. It says Junior Bergen, Tariq Owens, Russell Gage, Isaiah Hodgins, Isaiah Nair, and Malik Knowles. And then it had Jacob Cowing. Now today, one day later, you don't have Jacob Cowing. He's injured. So it's like, man, who the heck do the 49ers really have at wide receiver? It's not a pretty sight, right? The depth is bad. They're young players that are unproven. So 49ers wide receivers are kind of in a bad position. It's a position that there's a lot of uncertainty right now. So, let's take a look at some of these comments. My man, 49ers First Takes, Aaron says that stretching issue strikes again. That stretching, I said it. This team doesn't stretch, man. Like, take 10 minutes out of your morning to stretch. Maybe we don't see it, but I don't see it at all during training camp. I don't know. Maybe they're in the background stretching, but I mean, you would think they get to the field or they get to the stadium, they go to the locker room, they get dressed, they get prepped up, this and that. They come out, they do some light calisthenics, and then they go right into their drills. I just don't see them stretching enough. That's my observation. So, yeah. Who made that JJ contract report because he needs to be fired? Not necessarily. Let's talk about Jauan Jennings. So he showed up to camp yesterday to do his physical. He was there. John Lynch said he's going to practice today, and he did. He didn't hold in. He didn't hold out. Now, last week, Adam Schefter said that Jauan Jennings wants a contract extension. but he says if he doesn't get his money, he's going to request a trade. So to me, the way I see it is he didn't request a trade, right? Formally, yesterday, that was the big news, is formally he didn't request a trade. To me, I take it as, okay, Jauan Jennings is happy with the way the talks are going. And again, there's just no drama. You got to give Jauan Jennings props. He comes out, he daps up John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Last year, Brandon Ayuk, remember the dap gate? It was like a weird situation. He comes out and then he leaves. Brandon Ayuk daps him up. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan says a few things, and he goes right to practice. Like, this guy was all over the place. He was leading the receivers in drills. And then let's talk about during team drills. This man was out there playing like a wide receiver one. He had 4 targets, 3 catches. He had one of the best catches of the day, early on in team periods. The guy was he was amazing, man. He comes out, no drama, and you got to love the way that he just carried himself. So, you got to give a lot of respect to Jauan Jennings. He's always been a guy that I've respected, but after this first day of training camp, I'm like, man, I really, really got some more respect on Jauan Jennings, because, again, we've seen it before where players come out and they hold out and, it's like, oh, God, or they hold in. And you know what? Jauan Jennings, he's got nothing to lose, everything to gain. But at the same time, it's like he's not getting paid, 15, 16. He's not getting paid a big contract compared to a lot of other guys. And he's out there still practicing. Like, he could get injured, but he's out there doing it. So to me, it tells me they probably did figure something out. They are going to pay him. Again, like, this guy doesn't have to be out there. He could be out there and be holding in and just being there on the sidelines. That's enough. But he was out there leading the team drills, leading the individual drills. Jauan Jennings, man, good dude, very professional. And again, the report last week was if he doesn't get his extension, he's going to put in a trade request. So I guarantee you he's talked to Kyle, talked to John. They've sat down and they said, let's look at everything. So to me, again, for him not to request a trade at this point is telling me that he's happy with where the negotiations and all the talks are going. So we'll see how it goes. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a contract extension within the next couple of days, honestly. The way the vibes were today, he seemed happy. He was dancing. He was out there doing his thing, vibing. So yeah, Jauan Jennings, I think he'll get paid within the next couple of days. But he put the pressure on his team, and now you see Jacob Cowing's hurt. Pearsall's dealing with the hamstring. Brandon Ayuk's, he's dealing with his injury. So I feel like Jauan Jennings says, look, man, I'm out here. I'm practicing. I'm working. I'm showing you I want to be here. I'm not holding out. I'm not holding in. Just pay me my money. That's like unheard of. Most of these players, they hold out and they don't do anything. They don't want to get hurt. And again, he's not getting paid like most players in this situation. Jauan Jennings, right? He was a 7th round receiver. He got he was a restricted free agent. It's not like he got a massive contract last year. He got a pretty good deal for a 7th round, a 7th round pick, 3rd receiver, wide receiver 3. He got what he deserved, right? And now he's saying, look, man, I stepped up to the plate and I'm coming to training camp. And this kind of changes what I was thinking last week. Because last week I was like, God, man, he can't pay this man all his money, this, that, the other. But hey, they really have no other choices. He has to get paid because, again, all their wide receivers are falling like flies. He's out there. He's very consistent. He knows the team. And again, he didn't have to be out there practicing today, but he did. And it's very professional for him to go out there and do that. And again, he has the risk to get hurt, and he's trying to get a contract, and he's still out there doing his thing. So very commendable. Jauan Jennings, man. Team guy, selfless. Give him the money, man. At this speed, I'm going to change my state. Give him the money. Now let's talk about how much money. Can't be like $20 million, but give him this $12 million. He deserves it. He earned it today. So CMC looks like he has his second gear back. His 49ers first take. 100%. He looked smooth out there. Fresh legs, man. He's happy. He's got something to prove. Chip on his shoulder. CMC looked, like he had that bounce back. I was like, okay, he looks spry. AJ says, okay, now you think he deserves a pay raise? Yeah, I do. 15 mil, I might be pushing it. Maybe give him some incentives. Give him 10 to $12 million is perfectly fine. So Rob says, as Teddy KGB said, pay that man his money. MSQ says 13 to 16 million is not a lot for a top receiver, especially JJ. I mean, you're probably not wrong, man. You know what? He's out. If he's going to be wide receiver 1, and he was proving it today. Again, it's day 1, no pads, but he was cooking people, man. He had 3 catches. He looked like wide receiver 1 out there. You could tell, like, the difference between him and all the other receivers was night and day. It's like, you remember when Brandon Ayuk was killing training camp? We're like, oh my God, Brandon Ayuk, he looks so good, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how Juwan Jennings, he just looked like he was a step above everybody. Like Debo last year. Debo several years, but last year I remember Debo comes into camp and he was absolutely phenomenal. And like, he just looked better than a lot of these receivers last year. That's what Juwan Jennings looked like today. I was like, wow, nobody could compare. Demarcus Robinson looked pretty good actually, but he didn't look as good as Juwan Jennings. So yeah, Jennings, man, he looked very, very good compared to these other guys that didn't look too good today. Again, just a lot of young guys that are trying to figure it out. Jennings, he's the vet now, and he looked all of it. He looked like he played the part, man, very well. So good stuff. Good afternoon, Tanisha. Go ahead and pay that man, says Christine. Yeah. I need to watch Rounders. I know. I wasn't trying to do an impression of. I've watched Rounders. It's a good movie, by the way. Julius Calloway says Alfred Collins looks massive. That man looks absolutely like a unit. It's the first time we got to see Collins on the field practicing because he was out with the calf injury during OTAs and stuff. So that man is fucking huge. He is so big, dude. The guy is absolutely built like a truck, built like a tank. He played with the second unit today in team drills, so they're still, hopefully going to mix him into that first unit, but played a lot inside. He was massive. I like what I saw out of him. This is his first real practice really with the team. So you're not expecting anything. And what, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, you can't really grade them. You can't really say they look great or bad. They don't have pads. It's like very, people are grading these linemen early on. It's like, okay, they don't have pads on. Although Mykel Williams, I'll say he looked good. He played with the first team. He looked like he was moving in, able to move in that line. He was able to kind of rush from the inside. I think Mykel Williams is going to be very good. He was the only rookie that played with the first team. I mean, obviously, he's your top 12. He's your top first-round pick. You better play on the first, on the first line. But he looked very good. But I liked what I saw to Alfred Collins. Again, just a nasty, stout. He's a big man, bro. I just pray for his knees that they can stay good and everything because that's a lot of weight on those legs. You know what I mean? So. Who's bigger between Collins and Kinlaw? Oh, God. I think Alfred Collins is, like 6'5"? Let's take a look. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. So, again, and so 6'5", 320 pounds for Alfred Collins. Jesus Christ. It's a big man. 6'5", 320. Javon Kinlaw. Let's see how big this man is. Let's see how big Javon Kinlaw is. He's 6'5", 319. So they're about the same size. Oh, man, 319 and 6'5". So they're about the same. Those two guys are massive. But I feel like the way that Collins is built, he's a little bit rounder. I mean, he's just built like a freaking tank, man. He's stout, man. That's the way to put it. But, yeah, he looked like he can move well for his big frame. So good to see that. A couple other notes to mention. This 49ers field was different this year. So they don't have that VIP section in the back. And it kind of made the field like vertical. It was weird. Even Kyle was talking about how he got dizzy. I really was like, well, the field looks different. So the practice feels different. I don't know if you guys could tell on the videos, but it did look like they had moved everything around. Again, they got rid of that VIP section in the back and they like made the field vertical. I don't know. It was weird. We'll see how it plays out during the season. So the fields used to be like north and south. Now they're like east and west. It's weird. They don't have an artificial surface, and they're just like two fields at different lengths. I don't know. It was weird. So something to note. Let's see. A couple of things. Ben Barch. Oh, I saw Ben Barch there. He was working, everybody talked about Ricky Pearsall because Ricky Pearsall, we saw the clips of him. He was working back. He was doing some light jogging, and then he increased the jogging, and he hit his high speed on the GPS, and he was doing like he was running some routes. He looked good. Ricky Pearsall looked good. On the back was Ben Barch. He was working himself back from a quad injury. I saw that too. So everybody was rehabbing their way back that was hurt. So it's good to see some of those guys doing it. And, again, I really feel like that Ricky Pearsall looks good. They're being very careful. Kyle said that he wants to make sure he has his conditioning back. Should be back Sunday. But he looked like he was running pretty good despite having the hamstring issue. So, again, no pass rush, no one-on-one pass rush drills. There's no pads on. So that's why I said you can't really grade these, edge rushers and linemen that much because, you take stuff with a grain of salt. So Christian McCaffrey, we talked about him. He looked phenomenal during individual drills, and so did Trent Williams, but they didn't practice in team drills. Ease them in, do their individual drills, make sure they get their conditioning. Don't worry about them in team drills. But one thing to note, Spencer Burford played left tackle for Trent because Trent wasn't playing, again, in team drills. So Spencer Burford played some left tackle. That was interesting. That might be your swing tackle right there. That might be the guy that takes that role. But it's early, day one, so we'll see. And maybe like Chris McCaffrey and Trent Williams will play in team drills here and there sporadically. They don't want to get these guys hurt. They're going to do their drills. Kyle will use them as he needs to. I think Nick Zakel was at left guard. He was the guy that took Ben Bartch's place. So if the season started today and you wanted to know who your left guard is going to be, it's probably going to be Nick Zakel if Ben Bartch is not healthy. And then, of course, Jake the Snake Brendel was at center, Dominic Pooney at right guard, and you had Colton McKivitz at right tackle. So the same guys as always. And again, Michael Williams, he played with the starters. Sam O, he played a little bit of defensive end. Kevin Givens, Jordan Elliott, all those guys were kind of rotating in their first team. Diamond Lenore, Luke Gifford played, and D Winters alongside on the linebacker group. Let me talk about D Winters. This guy looked pretty damn good today. He's taken advantage of his opportunities. Nick Martin played with the second team. D Winters got to play with the first team, and he had a little interception. It wasn't a little interception. It was a nice interception on Brock. Brock threw 2 interceptions. One of them was to Jason Pinnock on a diving catch interception, but the other one was D Winters, man. Underhooked the pass, and I mean, just probably would have went for pick 6 if it was a real game. Guy looks good. This is his 3rd year. He's trying to make the most of it. Sneaky looking. God, I really hope D Winters can be that guy we need because I've liked him coming out of college. He was great in TCU. He has potential, but he hasn't been able to stay really healthy. But, man, D Winters looks good. Fred Warner talked him up yesterday, and he played the part today. So D Winters, he looked pretty good today. I was happy to see. That's the guy I've always been rooting for, and I really hope that he continues to stay where he's at. So again, he looked good at linebacker position. So there's a lot of rotating around the secondary. I saw Jason Pinnock and Jair Brown play starting safety positions. Diamond Lenore, Renardo Green were cornerback. I think I even saw Trey Brown played some slot cornerback today. Upton Stout got some reps too in there. So he played mainly with the second team sub packages. So it was interesting. First play of training camp, the first play of the day was like a play action deep pass from Brock Purdy. George Kittle catches it in his press conference. He says it was supposed to go to Juwan Jennings, but I think Diamond Lenore was short on the mark, and boom, Kittle was able to snag it. So that was a pretty cool play right off the bat. Boom, Kittle, Purdy, off to a good start. So that was fun. Again, Jennings looked great. D Winters, Jason Pinnock looked good. Take a look at some of my other notes that I have here. What else did we have? I think those are all the notes I had. Yeah. So D Winters looked good. Juwan Jennings was the best wide receiver. We talked about Spencer Burford. Brock Purdy threw a deep shot to George Kittle to open it. Let's take a look at anything else I might have. Oh, the kicker competition. Jake Moody, 4 for 4. Greg Joseph, 4 for 4. They both kicked one from 50 plus. Nick Bosa joked. He says, I'm keeping an eye on this kicker competition. I'm not going to lie to you. He said that, and I was too. I was looking dead at Jake Moody, dead at Greg Joseph. I was like, let's go. Give me your best shot. So right now they're both 4 for 4. They're both out there kicking. Before in the past, it was like it'd rotate days or something. Brant Boyer's like, nah, both of these guys go. Give me your best shot. So far, these guys have been neck and neck, I feel like. I think in OTAs, I think Jake Moody missed one. So I think Greg Joseph has one more make than Jake Moody so far in the whole, if you include OTAs and training camp and mini camp and all that stuff. I think Greg Joseph's one up on him, but perfect day for both of them today. There you go. That's it. That's your kicker competition. Let's take a look. Yeah, we talked about Jacob Cowing. Unfortunate news for him. We talked about D Winters. And yeah, the kicker competition. So that's pretty much the big notes, the big chunks of news today. It wasn't anything too crazy. First day, you're not going to expect like, oh my God, this guy, that guy. But I liked what I seen out of the rookies. They're trying to really mix them in because, a lot of these rookies are probably going to start. And I feel like the 49ers are really trying to make these guys learn the system, integrate them in. Again, Alfred Collins was there, Michael Williams, Upton Stout, Nick Martin. Those guys got a lot of action. Robert Salah, he's trying to get them up to speed and, get some of these guys like D Winters and make him figure it out. So, so far it was good. It was a fun day. Nothing, again, it wasn't like the craziest, oh my God, practice. First day, you take every report out there with a grain of salt. So let's take a look at some of these comments. Deptopia says kicker competition. Yeah, we touched on that. Colby and Moss out there today. I didn't notice them. Did CJ West or Collins start in team drills? They didn't start. Collins, like I said, second team. CJ West, I saw him do a lot of individual drills. I think he may have gotten a little bit of action on team drill. I didn't really notice him, but it's hard to miss Alfred Collins. So Renee says, hi, Raj. Jake Moody has some competition. Yeah, he does. Greg Joseph, perfect day. Thoughts on Colorado State power couple? Thoughts on the Colorado State power couple? Colorado State power couple. Who is the power? Oh, who's the power couple? Oh, yeah. Oh, Drew Moss and Brock Lesnar's daughter. Was it Maya Lesnar? Is that her name? Oh man. All I gotta say is if this guy pisses off Brock Lesnar's daughter, or if he messes up, he's gonna get an F. He's toast, bro. He's gonna get an F5 for his troubles. It's gonna be all bad. He's gonna get F5. He's gonna get speared, F5. It's gonna be all bad. Maya Lesnar, Drew Moss. Yeah, I had to think about that for a minute, but yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. He just better not mess around because the dad, Brock Lesnar, kick his teeth in. So if they have a kid, they're going to be a beast, says Dominic. Yeah. Can you imagine? They have a kid together. I mean, that's going to be a genetic freak. You got a football offensive lineman and like a power, just pure athlete. Maya Lesnar can track and field star, so. But he better not piss her off, dude, because Brock Lesnar he'll return to the ring, challenge him, throw him in WrestleMania, and beat the piss out of him. So be careful, Drew Moss. I'm praying for you. Don't cheat on her. That's all you got to do. Be a good guy. Be a gentleman. They look happy, so it's good. Let's see. Any other questions, comments on training camp? I think that's pretty much the most of it. Again, the big news of the day was Jacob Cowing pulled his hamstring. That's such bad news, man. Terrible. I hope he's, going to be okay. I hope it's a very minor hamstring. I hope it's like a grade 1. Anything worse than that is going to be bad. But, it's just our luck, man. 49ers receivers right now are in a weird position. So we'll see. Let me double check, see if I have any more notes, because there was a lot going on. But those are, again, the biggest stories of the day. I think we got most of it. I think, again, the big talk of the day, Jennings and Jacob Cowing, man. Those two guys stole the headlines. They stole the headlines. Yeah, and make sure you're following on all platforms. We've been posting. I was busy trying to get all that content out there today. So hopefully tomorrow we get a little bit more. There's a few things I didn't get that I wanted to get. So I'll try to look at different things tomorrow. I wanted to get I'm going to try to get some more like Michael Williams, maybe Bryce Huff. I didn't see them enough. And again, they changed the way that things are kind of situated on the field. So I was trying to look at certain players, certain things, and then I just missed a few things. So we're going to be there all the time. So we'll get more different content. Try not to make it the same stuff. And I didn't get much Brock Purdy content today. Maybe tomorrow we'll get some Brock Purdy content. We'll get some Bryce Huff content tomorrow. So just things like that. We'll try to change it up. I'll see if I get some Diablo Lenore content. He stayed after. A lot of the cornerbacks stayed after and kept getting some work in. That's one thing I always noticed. The cornerbacks always usually stay after, but I saw Lenore was back, Upton Stout. A lot of those guys were staying back to get some extra work afterwards. So good stuff. Get on the training staff. Yeah, Rob, dude, these guys need a stretch, bro. Looking forward to a great season. Love the take. Appreciate you, Renee. At the end of the day, man, Rob, you're right. This team needs to stretch. Like, bro, you just gotta stretch, because at the end of the day, if you start getting more hamstring injuries, I'm gonna start saying it. I'm gonna state there has to be an issue. If you keep getting these soft tissue injuries, then obviously it's clear as day that you're not stretching anymore. So, anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you. I'll try to get more content tomorrow. We had to get the little, you had to get my notebook today. If you see me at training camp, say what's up. I saw some people today. You saw me with the notebook. Gotta get them notes. We gotta do what we gotta do. It was a different vibe. It was a little different vibe this year. They changed some rules. It's assigned seating now. Come on, man. I'm gonna sit with my boys. Assigned seating. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you maybe later. I don't know. If there's any breaking news, we coming back. Throw that out there, because maybe Juwan Jennings get a contract. If there's any more news, we'll be back. Y'all have a good one. Go Niners.